Tonight's first period on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. And by Papa John's. The day after every Flyers win, get 50% off your online order at papajohns.com using promo code FLYERS. Ready to go from Minnesota. This is only the 6th game the Flyers have played here at XL Energy Center. They played in the very first game that the Minnesota Wild played in this building, but only 4 others since.
Like to spread them out a bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
Let's take a look at our Kia starting goaltenders for this one here in St. Paul. Ray Emery gets the start for the Flyers. This is start number 8 for Emery. He has been good when he has played, and since Steve Mason can't play them all, why not Ray Emery on this long road trip? With a win, he can even his record at 500. Josh Harding, fantastic story, and a really good goaltender, especially here at home. He has been as close to unbeatable as you can imagine. There are our Kia starting goaltenders.
Ray Emery is yet to lose in regulation time against this Minnesota Wild club. 4-0-1 in his career as the Flyers and Wild underway. That shot and the early save for Emery, using his stick to stop Zach Parise, and into the safety netting it went. Flyer combinations at the top of your screen, followed by the defense pair. Craig Berube looks to make it 2 for 2 on this road trip.
Didn't take him long to make a change here to get Sean Couturier's line out against Mikko Koivu's line, and Zach Parise on one side, Pominville on the other. This is the ideal matchup for the Flyers.
Clear-cut #1 line for this Minnesota club. You see the Minnesota line combinations at the top of your screen. Pominville could not handle that pass. He was all alone. It would have been one-on-one with Emery. Instead, it popped on through, and now the Flyers will get control. Here's Couturier. Back to his knees, able to play the puck, but Reed couldn't handle it, and the Wild get it back. And that shot from the boards is off his stick, it all the way across ice. Pominville unable to get that one in on goal, but Parise gets the puck free to get it back to the point to Ryan Suter. He'll flip one. It's deflected by Parise off the side of the net. Wild with a good first shift here as they're spending it in the offensive zone, and they like to do that. They will apply pressure. There will not be a lot of room for the Flyers to work with in terms of getting the puck out of the zone. And you can see the difficulty they're having with the forecheck right here. Now Couturier does get the puck to center, and Reed will carry on. Reed it across the Minnesota line, a backhander, and that's handled by Harding, and he'll hang right on to it. Virtuous scratches from the lineups. Flyers making the one change with LeCavalier out with the back spasms. Jay Rosehill is back in. Hill and Gustafsson coaches decisions. Granlund on the injured list for Mike Yeo and the Minnesota Wild. A relatively healthy bunch as well.
But they have been struggling lately, where we just opened our eyes real wide when we picked up on the stat that they had fallen behind 2-0 in each of the last 4 games. They've given up the first goal in 7 straight, but they found a way to claw their way to a few points in that stretch.
Yeah, they came back with 2 goals in the waning moments against Colorado the other night before losing that game in a shootout, but they did get a point. It didn't look like they'd get one, but they're not necessarily a team built for coming from behind. They don't have a ton of offense, but when the lead, they are very difficult to come back against. And so the first goal in this game becomes very important. Seems like we say that every night. Emery tipping that puck behind his own cage. And now Grossman will move it on the right wing for Jake Voracek. His pass off the skate of Charlie Coyle all the way down into the Minnesota zone. The Flyers changing. Braden Shen spilled just as he got onto the ice. And now Danny Heatley sends the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Angled through by Coyle. Back out for a shot by Heatley. And the save made by Emery. And Healy's been warming to the task of late for the Wild. Simmons is decked in center ice. Clayton Stoner, the puck go into the slot, and it's Charlie Coyle getting back to it for the Wild.
That's called protecting the red line.
Oh man, that's called standing up. Is Stoner just going to be able to not worry anything about the puck, but just take the man? And Simmons got caught right there between the red line and the blue line.
Simmons with the puck again, goes across ice. Andre Mazaros will handle it there. Mazaros a nice assist on Sean Couturier's goal in Nashville. At the puck to Luke Schenn, who's turned back by the forechecking of Zenon Konopka, but now they move it ahead. Braden Schenn, right wing feed, was behind Simmons, never got to him. The other way. Wow, that shot by Konopka tipped aside, bounces side of the net, now out to Simmons. Bounces back out, further shot by Jared Spurgeon. The defenseman was blocked and knocked aside. Spurgeon has it back. Diminutive defenseman, but can move the puck very well. Cross it comes. Scandella's shot, and that one goes wide, all the way out to big Mike Rupp. Rupp's pass intercepted, and the Flyers will move it out. Here's Jay Rosehill moving to the red line, backhanding, but not getting the puck deep as the Flyers are trying to make a change. Those are those turnovers that can be dangerous. This one does not cost the Flyers. They get the puck back, and here's Grossman. Long stretch pass off the stick of Zach Rinaldo deep into the Minnesota zone. Ryan Suter is back for it. Left his defense mate, the youngster, Jonas Brodin, played, and now his pass out in center ice for Kyle Brodziak. Grossman beat him to the puck, and Matt Reed will send it into the Minnesota zone.
That's a good idea. Against this Minnesota team, if you can get the red line, and we've already seen them, set up their barrier there, they gap right up on the Flyers forwards. If the Flyers get a chance, it's mandatory to get it in deep.
Now the Wild go to work on the forecheck. Even in straight play that puck up the other side, but it's kept in. Brodin will send it back in along the boards. Matt Cook, the veteran, battling with Timonen. Brodziak in on the scramble. Now it's Couturier. Takes a hit, but you can see the Wild are battling and scrambling on the forecheck, and they're going to have to work every time very hard to get that puck out of the zone. Reed to Couturier and across the line. That shot drifts wide of Harding. Now the Flyers want to try to do the same thing to the Wild that the Wild have done to them on a couple of shifts. Just get them hemmed in. Here's Downey. Back to Couturier. Couturier looking for an outlet as he protects the puck. Nothing really opened up for him. He'll send it back around behind the net. Downey worked down by Spurgeon. Poked it free to Reed. Reed out to Grossman across for Coburn for the shot. That one took off and found glass. Now the puck meant for Couturier, but that's cut off by the Wild, and Spurgeon has it. They'll move it to Koivu, and the captain set it off the stick into the Philadelphia zone. Emery will play the puck to the other side of the ice, and he had a little trouble with the puck right there. Reed will get it to Grossman.
Glad he wasn't scared, because I was.
There were even oohs from the crowd on that one.
And there was the forecheck that you guys were talking about. Both Parise and Koivu just absolutely flying into the zone. So, Jimmy, like you'd mentioned, and Bill, it's a matter of working hard. Coach Perubi had told us before, you got to work hard and win the one-on-one battles, because these guys are just going to keep coming at you in the defensive zone.
The good thing about this last shift is that the Couturier line kept the Koivu line in their own end and Minnesota's end for the first half of it.
Strange hop handled well by the Flyers. They'll move it ahead. Scott Hartnell looking for the puck at the Minnesota line. Voracek kept that puck in the zone. Swung it around behind the net, but Brodziak is there. Hartnell coming in after him. The puck toward the line. Schenn the big hit on Matt Cook with the puck out to the neutral zone. Here's Giroux. Claude Giroux will bounce that one in to the right of Hartnell. They go after the puck and keep it in. Schenn's shot is blocked. And now it's set out by Suter. Finally sent into the Philadelphia zone by Brodziak. Matt Cook and Scott Hartnell got their sticks up. Then Brodziak stepped in. Matt Cook, very familiar with the Flyers from his days as a Penguin.
He's an agitator. He had a little pushing and shoving there with Hartnell. The bench kind of reacted, but that's what you expect. You like to have guys acting like that on your team.
Luke Schenn being harassed from behind, coughs up the puck. And the Niederreiter got it behind the net to Danny Heatley. Heatley, who has always given the Flyers trouble. And the pass back to Niederreiter, the former Islander. In front for Heatley, and he tips that one wide. Simmons, bit of a hesitation, and the Wild get right to him, but he made the right play, got the puck to strike. Now the Flyers should move it up. Cross ice pass right back to Simmons with speed in across the line. His shot smothered, goes to the corner. Braden Schenn after it there. He's checked. It's pushed deeper by Raffl, and there's Simmons. Simmons fighting off the check of Keith Ballard. Got it back out to the point. There's Grossman with a shot blocked in front. Bounces to Coyle. He turns it over. And then he tries to get it back, and he does. He knocks it away from Raffl, and Heatley will flip it ahead to Coyle in center. Coyle hit across the line, makes the inside-outside move, but Grossman able to knock the puck away from him, and then bumps him along the wall, and Ronaldo picks up the puck. The pass in the middle for Hall is off the mark. A steal, the shot, and Emery the save, as he was able to deny Eric Haula. The rookie playing just his second game. Big hit there by Scandella on Ronaldo. The Flyers now after the puck. Ronaldo gets it. Ronaldo from behind, able to try to dig for that puck, but it bounces free, and now it's Spurgeon able to gain control. He's hit by Rosehill. Howell will try to clear. Couldn't one way, so he drops it back to Spurgeon, and the cross-ice pass for Scandella. The leader in plus-minus for the Wild. Gets the puck to center. They're upset it along. It bounced to Andre Mazaros, who swung it out to center, but that's a turnover, but offside. Would have been the Wild. They had to hold up, and as they do that, they're going to peel off on a line change, and the Flyers move up with the puck.
Watch for the Flyers to really try to get pucks back to their defensemen in Minnesota zone. The Wild collapse 5 all down low to try to protect Josh Harding, whoever's in goal for them. So one thing the Flyers know, the D-men should be open.
Koivu centering attempt, bounces back out. Here's Stoner with a shot wide of a screened Emery. And Parise trying to set it, but that's blocked off. And it's Steve Downey the other way for Philadelphia. Downey sends it diagonally into the Minnesota zone. Stoner's the first to it. Reed to him. Then Ballard, the veteran defenseman, along for Pominville. Pominville turns it over. Couturier steals to Downey. Downey fanning on his pass. Reed picked it up, and then it was poked away from him, and Pominville will move it out to center ice. To Parise, and he'll send it in. Parise was said to have had a broken bone in his foot that was going to cost him 2 to 3 weeks. Turned out to only be a contusion. He missed 1 game.
Everybody was talking about it. He wouldn't be in for this game, and then even Wednesdays. And here he is.
Yeah, he was back 1 game ahead of that.
He told us this morning he was just glad it wasn't broken. They all thought, I think, including Zach, that there was a fracture, but he's tough like his dad.
JP, his dad, of course. Zach getting himself ready for Sochi. He'll be a key part of Team USA as he was in 2010. Flyers have the puck here. Claude Giroux moving up. The left wing feed. Hartnell winds it deep into the Minnesota zone. Voracek chases. Guides it around behind the net. Hartnell looking for it there. He's checked. Still has a chance to get it and does. Roll it back out to Luke Schenn. Schenn goes across. And now Mazaros a shot, and that made it through in the save by Harding. His toughest of the night so far. Flyers get it back. Giroux steals and then flings one in. That's gloved easily by Harding, and he'll put it down for his defenseman. As we approach already the midpoint of this first period, you talk about a quickly moving game. Not many whistles here early on. Coyle up the right wing. And he fans, in fact, he breaks his stick on that shot. Flyers with a chance to move in transition. Big hit by Coyle on Mazaros. Mazaros slow getting up. Flyers move up in the rush. The shot goes wide from Raffl. One of his problems here in the early season has been hitting the target. Emery out of his net, nearly had it knocked away by Niederreiter. There's an empty net behind him. Well, Ray has had some adventures here, 3 of them already. Puck handling, that's icing on Philadelphia.
Well, when he's come out in front and turned with the puck, there's nothing but net.
Well, let's take a look at the hit that Mazaros is going to take. There's been a lot of really good hits at both ends of the ice. Right here, Simmons is going to get just drilled in the neutral zone. Right here, another hit at the corner, and then you can see that the active Minnesota defense, and then Cook here on strike just a few seconds ago, and right there, the one that just really drilled Mazaros, that was Coyle that caught Mazaros as he was moving out of the corner. Mazaros still kind of bent over on the bench.
Well, of course, Mez has had a slew of injury issues here over the last couple of seasons, his back being one of them, and that could not have felt good to his back the way he went into the boards right there.
No doubt his mission is just to stay healthy this season.
And again, here we watch the Wild going to work down low. They get the puck back out to Ryan Suter. He rolls it around behind that. It's going to make its way all the way out to Raffl, who does clear, but taking him right back by the Wild shortly thereafter. And Suter will gain the Philadelphia line, dropping it back to Koivu to Suter. Suter looking in the middle, and then he was bumped by Coburn. The puck slides to the corner. Reed after it there, and he'll drop it back behind the net to Coburn. Quickly to Grossman, and back to Coburn. Aiden Coburn. There's a cross ice in his own zone. Grossman will pick that up, and the Flyers finally get some room, but Grossman turns it over. Fowler then had his stick knocked out of his hands by Couturier, and they don't call the penalty.
Wow.
That is almost always called. The Flyers move up, and Reed will send it in.
Finally, a common sense approach to that play.
They must have been listening to us from the other night, Bill.
You think?
Everybody listens to us, right, Coatsy?
I would hope so.
They battle for the puck. Here's Couturier, and now it bounces away, and the Wild have it back. Fowler will move up with it, and he'll push it deep into the Philadelphia zone. He and Streit going to the boards together. Streit did a good job keeping the youngster away from it. There's Mazaros out on the ice, so that's good news for the Flyers. And Flyers look to maneuver through center. That's off a glove at the Minnesota line. Adam Hall a chop at it, but take it back by Stoner. And he'll get the puck to Torrey Mitchell, the former San Jose Shark, off the skate of Ballard. It bounces into the neutral zone. The Wild get it back. They're down to 8.5 minutes remaining already in this first period. Glad you could join us on Comcast Sportsnet. Don't blink, because this first period might be over before you see it. Go on the wall here to Ronaldo. He's checked. And now Luke Schenn. It's for Timonen and ahead for Hall, and he'll guide it into the Minnesota zone. Harding behind his net. Lays it to the corner boards. Brodziak ahead off of Heatley's stick. Mark Streit goes back to get it. Settles the puck down. And gets to Coburn. Now it's Streit. Play catch with it. And finally it's pitched into the Minnesota zone by Ronaldo.
It's not hard. You got to make 4 passes before you can chip it in, and then you really don't have much speed. Minnesota will take speed away. The Flyers, for that matter, have done a good job doing the same thing.
Niederreiter overskates the puck. Flyers moving back with it. It's Voracek sending it in. Goes all the way to the other side of the ice. Giroux out to Luke Schenn. His shot. And that was deflected but went wide off the stick of Hartnell. Suter up the wall. It gets past Grossman and out and down the ice. Luke Schenn goes to get it. Wild changing. Flyers try to take advantage. Here's Voracek holding on. The shot goes off of Hartnell to the corner. Pominville to the carom and ahead for Koivu. Koivu does so many things well. His pass to Scandella. Scandella holds center. Goes all the way through. Back out. There's Spurgeon has it at the point. They'll flip it along to Pominville. Pominville to Koivu. Koivu around behind the Philadelphia net. Twists and turns. Changes direction. Tried to center. Grossman kicked that one out of there. But now Parisi picks it up. Back out to Scandella. Across ice it goes Spurgeon. To Koivu. He turns and fires. And Emery putting a stick on that as Parisi tried to deflect it. Parisi after it now in the corner. He's checked. Koivu picks it up. And good cycle game going now. Pominville out to Ballard and across it goes Spurgeon. Back to Pominville. He'll wind. He'll fake. He'll fire. And the save made by Emery. I believe if it got through, Grossman was there. But picked up by Pominville. Out to the point. Here's Spurgeon. Spurgeon with a pass that goes off. But Koivu Flyers desperately need to clear here. Schenn hesitating and now he'll skate it up. And the pass ahead. He's got Raffl. Raffl with a shot there. That's gloved by Harding. And finally, play is stopped. 6:16 to go in the first. Our good University game notes for tonight. Well, how about the 3 stars of the week of the NHL? And we're going to take a look at East versus West. About a third of the way through the season right now. First, though, Bill, the 3 stars of last week. That guy at the top of the list there is red hot.
Well, if it isn't Malkin, it's Crosby in Pittsburgh, and the Detroit Red Wings have their wheels back on the track, being led by Nicholas Kronwall and Duncan Keith of the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks have only picked up points in 24 of their 28 games.
Part of the reason why the West has that kind of advantage over the East, those Blackhawks. 100 wins now for the West over the East. Now, to put that into perspective, if it keeps up, you're going to have a team near 100 points miss the playoffs in the West. That's what it's at right now. But of late, the East has been starting to come back, and guess who's leading the way? The Flyers, 3-0-1 in their last 4 games against the Western Conference. And that is a major streak for the East against the West, the way things have gone this year.
So many Western Conference teams are off to franchise record-setting starts, and we talked about it before the game. A lot of that is due to how they pile up points against the East. I mean, their records would be somewhat tarnished.
Raffl was about to get hit very hard, and the player had to pull up because there was another Wild player in the area. Flyers get the puck, though, and with room, walking in Mazzaros, fakes the shot, now takes it. Save made, Harding, and with traffic around him, he hangs right on.
Good decision by Andre Mazzaros. You know what another good decision would be? To stay home and shop from home this holiday season. Santa Sacks available now online and by phone. And these Santa Sacks include an autographed puck, 2 tickets to a Flyers game, Adirondack Phantoms game tickets, a calendar, and a bunch more. So do it the easy way. Pick up your Santa Sack from home.
Great gift, and it's easy, right? There's a flip shot from the point, gloved by Harding. It was going high, but
let's go back
take the face off.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. Let's take a look at the opportunity by Mazzaros, because it was a beauty. He's going to be able to drop his shoulder because he sees the traffic. Look at that. Now he's got a defender down on his knee, so now he can move outside. Stoner goes below the goal line, so now it's just one-on-one with Harding. That's a heck of a play by Mazzaros, and that, you know, he had a heck of a play to be able to set up that tying goal the other night in Nashville.
He did.
But these opportunities are going to be there for the Flyers D. We talked about it early. Minnesota collapses 5 guys down to the house, so the D-men are going to be able to walk in and take some shots.
Xcel Energy Center this site here. As that shot goes wide from Streit. Giroux looking for the rebound. That's us along with our great crew from St. Paul, Minnesota. Beautiful building. Xcel Energy Center.
What a postcard afternoon,
Yeah,
too.
the snow falling with very little wind. Glad you took a picture for your wife.
It's on the way.
Koivu shot. Oh, big stop by Emery. There is that one kicked out. Wild keep the puck in. Flyers trying to knock it away. That strike. He does just that. Looking for Hartnell. Hartnell tried to go cross ice. That goes off his stick, and finally Voracek just takes a whack at it. Goes all the way down. This will be icing. 4:43 remaining in this first period. Get Philly sports news and scores when you're on the go. Be the first to know the latest on all of your Philly teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app right now. You never know what's going to happen in the world of sports in Philadelphia. You want to be kept up to date. Flyers win this draw. Move the puck to center. Here's Hartnell from the red line. Sends it in. Swatted away by Harding. Battling for the puck is Giroux, and he'll twist it down low in the Minnesota zone. Spurgeon back to get it, though, and he wipes out, lost the puck. Ronaldo to Rosehill, and then it bounces away. Rosehill getting it back centered, and that one ends up going all the way through. Timonen just sent it in along the boards. Rosehill to it again, pushed it back into traffic, and then it skips back to Matt Cook. Across to Spurgeon. Spurgeon will send it off his stick, but it gets caught up in skates right in the neutral zone. A little shoving going on there. Wayne Simmons not happy. A whistle. We get some punches being thrown with gloves on. Rosehill, not Simmons, Rosehill pushing and shoving. But nothing real serious happening here. We'll step aside. Back in Minnesota, no score. News broke today that caught some of us, probably all of us, by surprise that the COO and president of Comcast Spectacor, a company which runs the Flyers, Peter Luukko, announced his resignation, stepping down. And here's what he had to say, as he wanted to thank Ed Snyder for the opportunities that he has given him to help build Comcast Spectacor over the last quarter century. And Peter Luukko has done a tremendous job. He's going to move on and try to pursue other interests, and certainly will be missed. Peter Luukko did an outstanding job. And for more on this story in between periods, you want to tune in. John Bork, El Morgani will have more on it, and John Clark will be talking with Flyers chairman Ed Snyder addressing the subject. But guys, I know you want to second the fact and wish Peter well in his new endeavors.
Absolutely. I wish him all the best.
Well, he's a class act and a true gentleman. And although he's a president and COO type of person, he is also a hockey rink rat.
He is that.
So I know that we'll run into Peter in some rink at some point, someplace. And all the best, Peter.
Never say goodbye to a guy like that.
Yeah.
There is a man that loves the game of hockey.
Yeah, he still plays it in the morning down at the center occasionally. So he plays the game, and good luck to Peter Luukko as the Wild get this puck back out. Spurgeon a shot that goes wide. Bounces all the way out to the circle, and now has moved ahead. Wayne Simmons in the middle. Mark Strike. Strike pushes it at Raffle is upended. Coyle turning with it. And now Scandella. His pass off the stick. Flyers also being very active with those sticks in the passing zone and making it difficult on the Wild. So heard about his fair play in that regard, and that's what the Flyers are trying to do. Wild move this puck through center and all the way down. It does not have enough steam, they say, for icing, so they wave it off, although it did clearly get across the line. Turnover, shot in front, and Brodziak is denied by Emery. That might have been Mazzaro's thinking that was going to be icing. It wasn't. Turned into a scoring chance for the Wild.
We take a look at Ray Emery, who has never been beaten by this Minnesota Wild team. Boy, he's had some real good in-close shots. We always talk about Steve Mason, how well it's played. Well, when Emery's been in there, he's been pretty darn good, too. And remember, it wasn't but 4 years ago where they told him he was never going to play this game again. Well, he has absolutely made a comeback to compare to comebacks, and he is just stellar again here in the first period at 6'2", 196 from Hamilton, Ontario.
Ray Emery and Steve Mason have combined for a .923 save percentage. That is 5th best in the NHL. Last year, the Flyers ended 26th in the NHL in save percentage. So that has been a major upgrade.
No doubt, and the Flyers are now building on that. Strong defensively in front of their goaltenders.
There's Matt Reed moving up. The shot sails high and wide. Flyers have missed the target a couple times, and they could have made things a little more difficult for Josh Harding. Puck rolling around. On the side of the ice, jabbed ahead by Godin, but taken by Reed. Reed to Couturier. He kept it in at the line, but his shot is blocked, and look out. Parisi sailed for that puck, but it's Coburn using that great speed of his to get there instead. Flyers moving ahead. Reed Checked by Suter. He calmly slides it ahead to Mikko Koivu. Saku's younger brother. Well, the pass that's knocked down. Here's Couturier. Couturier along the wall. Rolling back along. Hartnell backhanding it. Now it's taken by Voracek across ice. Hartnell trying to corral that bouncing puck. Floats it back across. That's out to the point to Streit. His stick went flying. The puck into the slot. Voracek watching as Hartnell tried to get a shot off, but that was denied. And now moving through center. Back the other way, Torrey Mitchell. That puck rolls ahead of him. Emery decides to cover up. As Mitchell was upended. No call either way.
Hey, we want to let Flyers fans know that they can celebrate the holidays at a Flyers home game in Wells Fargo Center in a suite. All you have to do is purchase a Home for the Holidays ticket package, and you get a suite ticket, 25% discount on the team store, lots of celebrating, a $25 gift card to Xfinity Live Philadelphia. Select games are available. Time to call is, how about right now?
Even here in Minnesota, you see some orange and black.
There's orange black everywhere we go.
Philadelphia sports fans, they travel.
Yep.
Off the face-off here, Luke Schenn controls. Luke had a strong game in Nashville the other night. Wild after the puck. Cook's pass does make its way back to the point. And Brodin has it here. Second-year defenseman who's been very impressive. Slid that puck on to the other side of the ice. The Flyers get to it. And they move it out to center, back in offside. The call with 69 seconds remaining in this first period. Here's our Jeep trivia question for tonight's game. It has to do with Flyers general manager Paul Holmgren. He was born 58 years ago today, in fact. In which Minnesota city? Rochester, Minneapolis, or St. Paul? That is, whether it's Rochester, Minneapolis, or St. Paul, Homer will tell you it's God's country up here, right?
I'm not sure he's wrong.
Oh, it is beautiful. And it's hockey country, too. And here's Giroux. Busting in. Giroux holds, waits his pass. Is tipped high in the air and across the ice. He did not look for the shot.
Oh, had the chance, too. Point blank.
Niederreiter moving up. Giroux trying to get back and take the puck away. Momentarily did. Heatley's in the mix. It comes out in front. And Brayden Schenn will handle for Philadelphia. Pass cross ice to Simmons. Simmons just one-handing it into the corner. He's knocked off. Bounced by Spurgeon, and then he takes Spurgeon down, and that's a penalty. That one was pretty obvious. Simmons was frustrated, and he went in there and took Spurgeon down. And the first penalty of any sort in the game involving the Wild in their last two contests is called.
It's unbelievable.
Simmons goes to the box.
Well, the Wild played the first game in franchise history without either team picking up a penalty. That was Saturday night in Colorado. Brayden Schenn on this last shift. There's Claude Giroux going in. Watch Brayden Schenn here.
Good for him. I love that enthusiasm. I mean, the puck's going up in the air. He's got a defenseman down on the ice in front of him. Anything can happen. Grab onto it, come down, have an opportunity.
I'm still trying to figure out why he went up with both hands. It was almost like he was just praying for it to land where he wanted it to. That was interesting.
Good ups, though, right?
Oh, great vertical. Great.
The first power play of the game belonging to Minnesota. 22 seconds remaining in the period. As Koivu gets it back to Pominville. And now Koivu. And on the goal line, that pass tipped away. Emery bats it around. Koivu picks it up right to center, blocked by Coburn. 8 seconds in the period. Koivu getting it back to Suter. Suter with a shot blocked. Matt Reed getting in the way of that. Now Pominville fires, blocked in front. Loose puck. There's the horn ending period number one. Plenty of power play time available to Minnesota when the second period starts, but no score through one. 9-4 the shots in favor of Minnesota, but the goaltenders had all the answers in period number one. Tonight's Flyers Wild first period was brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. By Powerback Rehabilitation. And by Supercuts. Check out supercuts.com to find a convenient salon location near you. Rock the cuts at Supercuts. John Bork and Al Morganti. More on Peter Luukko, as well as an analysis of the first period here from Minnesota. John Clark talking with Ed Snyder. That and more after these messages. No score for Minnesota after 20 minutes. Tonight's second period from St. Paul is brought to you by Your local Delaware Valley Audi dealers and legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive, the world's top-selling luxury all-wheel drive system. Also, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Teams that have been quite stingy of late continued along that vein in that first period. No scoring. There are your first period statistics brought to you by Sugar House Casino.
Flyers dominant in the face-off department. Now, if enough of those face-offs are in the offensive zone, they might be able to generate a few more shots because they only generated 4, and 2 of those came from defenseman Andre Mazzaros.
Well, Giroux 8 for 8 on draws in that first period. Here are some of the Twitter shots from period number 1. Some great hits. Indeed, it was a physical period. Ray Emery was good when he had to be. Scoring chances that would seemingly come out of nowhere, and he made a couple of big stops. And yes, you liked the tempo as well, Bill, I know, in that first period.
Well, it was continuous, that's for sure, but it was such a difficult task for any team to generate shots against the Wild. And that's why if the opportunity presents itself, call me crazy, but I think you got to take it.
1:27 of power play time available for the Wild as Wayne Simmonds has to serve out his holding minor. There he is. Bill had mentioned the Wild just got done playing a completely penalty-free game out in Denver. Game that went all the way to a shootout. So they played 65 minutes of hockey without a penalty from either side. First one in Wild history. And they haven't taken a penalty yet in this game either. Simmonds minor, the first one for either club. All right, Parise getting it back to the point. Pominville rolling it back down behind the Philadelphia net. Reed, Timonen cuts it off. Reed trying to get the puck away from Parise. Instead, it goes back toward the point, but could not be flagged down by Suter. So he has to go back to his own line to get it.
You know, you hear about a team without any penalties. You figure they're kind of a polite team. They've been anything but polite here in this first period with all the body checks.
That's a real good point. It's been physical, but no penalties. So legal hits. They've done well. Flyers clear again.
Rude but fair.
There you go. Offside the call at the Philadelphia line. So 38 seconds remain on the power play. And there are the numbers. A decent power play unit for this Wild club in the top 10. 8. The Flyers penalty killing has been huge, Bill, in getting him wins the last 2 hockey games as they filled off 11 in a row and scored a shorthanded goal.
But being shorthanded that many times is kind of like holding an extension cord in ankle-deep water.
Yikes.
At some point, you're going to get zapped.
Yeah, they don't want to be in the box that much. Craig Ruby's talked a lot about that. Hardy's going to hang on to this puck, so the Flyers will get an offensive zone draw. There's Zach Rinaldo, who is now part of that penalty-killing unit, and he likes it.
Well, he should. I mean, that was my favorite part of the game when I played. I mean, you're free. I mean, you're freewheeling very often when you're on the forecheck. If you've got good skating speed, you can take some liberties. You can force teams in their defensive zone. I mean, it's actually more freedom than you have when you're playing 5-5.
On top of that, he is a guy that understands it. We had an opportunity to talk to him about penalty killing in the pregame show, and he knows that he's a good skater. He knows that he reads plays well, and that he has a great confidence in doing that penalty kill.
Yeah, you asked him about hitting as well. That's the one element of your game that you have to be careful of when you're penalty killing, especially if you're a forward, because you got to get back into your own end awfully fast, and you can't afford to hit most of the time.
I thought he had the right answer, didn't you?
Yep.
Draw here in center ice. Adam Hall to Koivu. And the Wild do get control, so they can get one more push on this power play. Spurgeon dropping it back for Pominville. And now it's Spurgeon, the defenseman in deep, hit the side of the net with his pass and was frustrated about it. The Flyers will move up. And Howell will send it into the Minnesota zone. And that will just about take care of the power play. They'll begin one more rush before Simmonds can get out of the box. The pass is tipped away. Flyers had Simmons ahead of the field there, but couldn't get that puck out of the zone. So back to even strength hockey. Greasy behind the net. Coburn tried to catch up to him. Now it's Pominville. Pominville all the way out to Spurgeon. Spurgeon flipping one that went wide out the other side. It was batted down there by Hartnell and now has the puck. Scott Hartnell, the outlet to Simmons. And he'll dump the puck in. Flyers will get a complete line out on the ice as Harding will play it up the boards. Hartnell knocked it down, but the Wild get it right back. Pominville. And his outlet goes through Suter and down the ice. 2 minutes in, second period. Still no score here for Minnesota. There's an interception by Kovu. Hit his own man coming off the bench. Could have been extra men on the ice there. Could have been called. You could hear the Philadelphia bench screaming along those lines into Coates's mic. And here's Voracek. Holding on. Voracek cross ice. That pass could not get through. Too many sticks. Torrey Mitchell starts the Wild back the other way, but the Flyers quickly intercept. Drew is dumped along the boards. He fired it across ice, but right there is Matt Cook, and he'll hoist one into the Philadelphia zone. Brodziak to it for the shot. Save Emery, rebound right in front. Mitchell shot, save Emery, and he's got it. Wow. Again, a scoring chance developing seemingly out of nowhere, Bill, but Emery was ready.
It's going to be that kind of game, though. The pretty plays aren't there, so it's going to be some kind of squibber-type shot that bounces up in the air. That one actually bounced back in on Ray Emery off of Nick Grossman. No, Andre Mazzaros.
Well, the second shot, the rebound shot, Emery had no clue. That came off the stick of Mitchell, and he had no clue where. He looked left, he looked right, and then finally figured out that he actually had it underneath his arm.
That one replay, the overhead, gave you a great view. Mazzaros batted that. It very easily could have gone in, but Emery was there.
Tough enough making saves against the bad guys.
I was trying to clear it out of harm's way and put it toward the net, but Flyers live to tell about it as this game's still scoreless. Bouncing puck in center. Niederreiter gets to it, chops it into the Philadelphia zone. Luke Schenn back. We'll get it to Michael Raffl. Raffl ahead on the money to Simmons. He'll chip it in and try to chase and get to it. He was interfered with somewhat by Stoner, but play carries on. Niederreiter run into, coughed up the puck, and the Flyers will dump it deeper. Harding will set it up, though, as Stoner is there and the Flyers are changing. Stoner from the red line could not get the puck deep into the Philadelphia zone. Rosehill didn't see the puck, and now offside, I believe, has been whistled.
Adam Hall centering his fourth line. His confidence has grown as well. He's been a key ingredient on faceoffs and on the PK.
Well, Adam Hall, as you look at Jay Rosehill, Adam Hall ended up leading the NHL in faceoff winning percentage in the month of November. And now the gloves are down, and it's Rupp and Rosehill.
The puck wasn't dropped.
Oh, and Rosehill just took a right, and Rupp's got the rights going. Now Rosehill comes back, and Rosehill hammers with a right, and down goes Rupp. What a comeback by Jay Rosehill. He took some punches early, but he ended up throwing the heavy duty haymakers late, and they'll both go off. And as you said, if the puck wasn't dropped, that's going to be some big-time penalty minutes.
Well, Rupp is 6'5", 235 pounds, and for anybody that watches every Flyers game, which we all know you do, we've all seen Jay Rosehill do a great job. Watch this. But right at the end, you can see that Rupp got a little bit more rhythm, but Rosehill then came right back and got Rupp as he was just moving it right at the right time, where Rosehill come right back, bang, right there, and got back into it. But Rupp, oh my goodness, that's a big man, and he was cut over the left eye, guys, as he was leaving the ice. As Rosehill, as you can see once again, with a great effort against the bigger man, Mike Rupp.
So it really looked like a clear win by Mike Rupp, and Rosehill did more damage. Mike, one of the reasons, if not the only reason, Mike Rupp is in the lineup is because Jay Rosehill is in the lineup. Rupp was just re-added to the Wild roster.
Missed a couple of games with a death in the family, and it was expected to be a scratch. He skated extra today, but I think then perhaps when the Minnesota found out that Rosehill was in the lineup with LeCavalier out, they decided to add Rupp, and wouldn't you know, the two have at it. And that was a heck of a fight. I mean, sometimes you'll see these fights where a lot of punches are being thrown, but not many are connecting. That replay showed you as Grossman's shot is snared by Harding that a lot of them were connecting.
Well, Rosehill knows how to lock out and turn away as well, so I don't care how long your reach is. Unless you're Zdeno Chara, you're not going to really hit him on most of those big swings.
Rosehill doesn't look any worse for wear.
No.
Brings a lot to the table on top of his ability to know and understand his job description. plays really a nice position as far as the right wing, knows how to play the game at both ends of the ice, and he's a pretty good skater.
Big told just 5 each for fighting, so apparently the puck must have been dropped. I didn't see that it was either, but at this point.
And there's a higher price to pay on fights that happen outside the whistle.
Puck in the Philadelphia zone now, and Mitchell races after it. And then Downey battle, and Mitchell won that battle back to Suter. His shot off his stick and into the safety netting, and a whistle stopping play.
The Flyers now trying to collect themselves and gather some kind of offensive momentum, and I think it has to, I know it sounds like a broken record, but getting pucks in deep and working the Wild down low. The Flyers had 4 shots in the first period, still looking for their first shot here in the second.
Craig Berube was preaching patience when he talked to us before the game. A game like this, it might be scoreless. It might be a game in which it's a 1-0 kind of finish because there's just not going to be a lot of room out there, and he was certainly right.
He was telling his players to think in terms of playing the New Jersey Devils. That is the operative all the time against the Devils. Patience, patience, patience. And the deal is, if you're impatient, you're going to do, as Craig Berube said, you'll probably do something dumb with the puck.
Battle going on here. Several quadrants. Bounces free to the other side. Timonen moved it ahead, and now the Flyers will turn it through center and down the ice. Rodin goes back to get to it. Takes it behind his net. Harassed there by Hartnell, but he skates away from him. He can skate. The pass, though, to Pominville, and he had to reach back for that. He takes a big hit from Hartnell as the puck goes deep into the Philadelphia zone. Both teams throwing their weight around, that's for sure. Now Grossman. Grossman with some room and across the line. There's it wide of Harding all the way out past Downey. Wright will keep it in. Bank it into the corner. Spurgeon looking for it. Flyers get it instead. They'll bank it back out to Grossman. Cross ice. Wright a shot. Harding handled that one with ease. Tipped it to the boards. Reed could not come up with it. And Heatley able to move it ahead to the Philadelphia line. Grossman a hit there. Ends any rush for the Wild. And now we've got a whistle stopping play, and must have been a delayed offside. Yeah.
Hey, I want to remind everybody there is still time to take advantage of the Flyers Wives Carnival Cyber Monday special. You can save big today and today only by purchasing an early admission family 4-pack.
Never know who you're going to see there.
The Flyers Wives Carnival is Sunday, January the 26th. You can visit FlyersCarnival.com/promo code and enter C-M-Carnival.
And I know you're still very popular, Bill, but Sean Couture's line looked a little bit longer than yours.
You think?
Just a little. We were right up there, though.
What's the definition of a line? More than one person?
Yes, Raffle. Nice move. Couldn't get the shot off. Now Raffle has it behind the net.
I didn't know you guys were counting.
Don't miss the trick. Right. Braden Shen. Raffle, but puck bounces Scandell. He turns it over to Simmons. Simmons in heavy traffic, and he lost it. And there's heavy traffic everywhere, it seems, on this night. Both teams really doing a good job checking. Shots are 11-5 in favor of Minnesota. Simmons to Raffle. Fires that one. That's glove by Harding. He'll hang on. A little more pushing and shoving, but nothing too serious.
No score here in Minnesota between the Wild and the Philadelphia Flyers. Let's take a look at our Geico quote from Claude Giroux on the recent success of the Philadelphia Flyers. It looks like we're getting back on track here. We've had a couple of big wins at home and on the road. Going to Minnesota is not going to be easy. They've been playing very well this year. We'll have to be ready for that. And so far, so good.
Yeah, it was a good November for the Flyers as they tied with the second best record in the Eastern Conference. Just one game really behind Boston. The Flyers began the month in 8th place in the Metropolitan Division, and as play starts tonight, they are 5th. They could move up as high as 3rd if everything fell their way tonight. So it was a November which they dug out of that hole that they had dug themselves in October, and now, and Craig Berube emphasizes this all the time, they have to build on that November and push forward. It's good to get out of the hole, but then you have to keep climbing.
No hole is too big to climb out of as long as you approach the ladder up the side of it one rung at a time.
That took a shot denied by Emery in a rare odd man rush. Rodziak left all alone, walking in front, shot, and it deflected and went to the corner. Flyers got perhaps fixed up on their assignment there, and well, they still can't get the puck out, but Mitchell finally has it taken away by Luke Shen. And it's played out of play by the Flyers. Yep. That's going to be a penalty. Oh, Giroux trying to relieve that pressure. Will end up taking a trip to the penalty box.
Well, one thing after the other, when you got the Minnesota Wild hitting that blue line 3-on-2 with a couple of real good opportunities, and Giroux's just trying to get this off the glass and out. He knows that they're a little off balance. Get the puck out and regroup. Got a little air under it, and next thing you know, you got yourself a power play for the Minnesota Wild.
Craig Berube has seen enough of these delayed game penalties here of late. Flyers have been guilty of it 4 or 5 times, it seems, in the last several games. Been some that have gone their way. Opposition delay games as well. Seen a lot of it. Power play number 2 for the Wild. And Hall won that draw. Puck set up the boards by Coburn, but kept in by Pominville. Back down around behind the net. Coburn gets another crack at it. He backhanded it up the wall, but not clearly enough steam on that to get out of the zone. Now Timonen, as his pass tipped, he goes back after, disrupts a couple of Wild players. Now Coburn to it again, lifts it off that glass and out of the zone.
I was waiting to hear that little clank.
Yes. Otherwise, that's going out of play again. Is you get a lot into that backhand, and if you do that, a lot of times you're going to end up with a lot of air underneath it. Here is Suter dropping it back. Koivu to Coyle, and now Pominville. Former Sabre, out in a trade. Gave up a lot to get Jason Pominville, but now they've re-inked him and extended his contract. He'll be here a while. Pominville, Koivu, drifting with it. Head up. Flyers keeping them to the outside to this point. Suter across. The shooting lane. Now the shot, and it went well wide. Pominville is not close. Koivu not keep that puck in the zone. Now Pominville back across to Koivu and then across the line. The left wing feed to Coyle, back to Koivu, and now Pominville. Flyers back to full strength in 42 seconds. Puck rattling around, and now it's Reed a chance to clear. He's going to skate it to center. He's one-on-one against Suter here, so he decides to just play it in.
What a kill by Matt Reed. His positioning had to change a little bit in the defensive zone because Mikko Koivu sets up dead center in the slot. Reed was parked beside him for most of the time.
Couturier did a nice job too, Billy, because he was at the top. They were playing 3-on-1 with him in the top. They never really had the one real good opportunity, but by Pominville, and he shot wide.
All with a good job clearing the zone. Now Ronaldo after it in the offensive end. Finally the Wild have it, and they're moving up. Get it to the Philadelphia line, but Ronaldo will find the puck and send it all the way down, and the power play over. Flyers now 13 for 13 over the last 3 games on the penalty kill. They're actually +1 on the penalty kill over those 3 games. That shorthanded goal. Heatley, a shot goes off the skate through the slot. And battle for it in the corner. Niederreiter gets it to Heatley, who winds it, fires blocked by Grossman. Shot block leader for the Flyers, tied for 4th in the National Hockey League. He just stood his ground right there. Strike chips it ahead to Simmons. Simmons will go across ice and find Raffl. Raffl swings wide on the left wing, try to get that pass into the middle, but Stoner had other ideas. He swallowed up that pass. Now they scramble along the boards, and finally it's poked out to the neutral zone. We approach the midpoint of regulation time in this one. No scoring to talk about. Schenn trying to change that. Braden Schenn around behind the Minnesota net, harassed by Stoner. Simmons comes in to help him out. Wayne Simmons trying to get that in the middle for Coburn, but it was behind him. Now Simmons coming all the way across with a hit on Ballard as the Wild clear the zone. Now it's Meszaros. Flyers changing players. Meszaros will go across to Coburn. Braden Coburn from the red line, sending it deep. Giroux will be the first to the puck. Hartnell getting it back. Downey should say, getting it back out to Schenn. Roll it back around. Timonen pinches. Big collision. Hartnell come together with Ballard. Now it's Luke Schenn. Couldn't get it through, and Stoner will clear that one all the way down. That's going to be icing, but now we've got a gathering with Downey, Hartnell, and other Wild players having some words. Ballard having a word for Hartnell right there. I don't think any calls were made, although the officials are milling around. Drawn out on the orange line, Craig Berube talks about his passion for coaching and new direction for the Flyers. Plus, Scott Hartnell reflects on the goal he calls the biggest of his career. All that and more on the orange line, presented by Bradford Whitewater Heaters. So Mount United at 11:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Minnesota has called timeout here as they have some tired players out on the ice. And with that icing call, he wants to get a rest for his guys.
Well, let's take a look at our Wells Fargo great check of the game. And we're talking about the Wild not having any penalties. Well, it doesn't matter. They still got some pretty good body checks in that first period. There's Charlie Coyle. It's a defenseman's number, but he is a forward hitting like a defenseman as he caught a hold of Andre Mazzaros in the corner. And that's our Wells Fargo great check of the game.
Charlie Coyle, he came over in that Red Birds trade, San Jose. He's former standout at Boston University. And you know what Minnesota has done? They have the veterans they've spent a lot of money on, the Parisis, the Suitors, Pominvilles, Koivus, but they also churning out young players like Coyle they acquired in a trade, but others that they've developed themselves to add to the mix so they can stay under that cap. Because you know what young talent is, Bill? It's cheap.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
Charlie Coyle is still learning the art of the face-off in the NHL.
Yes.
Right? 33 face-offs coming into tonight in the last 3 games. He'd only won 6 of them.
Yeah, he'd been a winger, and then recently they put him in the middle, and certainly struggling in that aspect of his game. Diving to get the puck there was Hartnell. Minnesota wanted a penalty on that. They're not going to get it, as Hartnell got the puck as well as the player. And so no trip. Downey will turn it into the Minnesota zone. So Downey out on this shift with Hartnell and Giroux instead of Jake Voracek. This puck bounces ahead. Look out, a 2-on-1 opportunity. Here's Parise and Koivu. Parise with the puck. He holds. Emery says no. Flyers took away the pass. Emery took away Parise's shot. No score.
Still no score thanks to a great save by Ray Emery. He faced a 2-on-1 and a dangerous one. Little miscommunication here between Downey and Coburn. If we stop it, you see both Coburn and Downey are converging on one Minnesota Wild player over on the boards. That's the miscommunication that led to the 2-on-1. Coburn thought that Downey was going to back him up, and as it turned out, nobody was backing him up.
Grossman did a great job of actually forcing Parise to be able to take that shot. In other words, he took the pass away, making it a one-on-one situation with just he and Emery.
And Emery won that battle. So this game is still scoreless. 8:33 to play here in the second. Broken stick on the ice. Matt Reed needs to get a new stick. He does over at the bench. Coburn keeps the puck in. Now Reed with his new stick able to play the puck into the Minnesota zone. But there's Koivu. His pass off of skates. Now Suter will move it ahead. Coburn able to break up that rush. Timonen uses his skate to kick that puck ahead to Jake Voracek. Voracek out with Couturier and Reed. Voracek will send one in off the stick of Harding. Couturier to the puck. He's checked by Koivu. And there's Suter ahead to Pominville. And Jason Pominville will send that one into the Philadelphia zone. Up right-hand corner, you're taking a look at the limited scoreboard in the NHL, but 2 big games in terms of the Metropolitan Division for the Flyers with New Jersey and the Rangers both in action. There's a pass from Simmons to Streit. It's tipped away now. Raffle is shot, but that's blocked by Spurgeon. He goes and gets the puck and moves it ahead. If New Jersey were to lose, whether it be in overtime or in regulation, and the Rangers lose in regulation, and the Flyers win here, the Flyers would be tied with the Rangers for 3rd place in the Metropolitan Division. That's a playoff spot, 3rd place if you get there. So,
well, those kinds of permutations and descriptions, you're preparing for who's going to make the playoffs and who isn't. That sounded like April banter.
yes, it did. It did.
It's good, though. It's
given
good.
where the Flyers were a month ago, I think it's pretty substantial to say that they're a win away from possibly being in playoff position.
Sure.
Here is Simmons moving up. He takes the shot, and that is deflected and makes the safety netting, so play is stopped.
Let's take a look at our Independence Blue Cross fearless play of the game. Jay Rosehill, he's 6'3", 215 pounds. Mike Rupp is 6'5", 235. There's a distinct advantage to Rosehill, but Rosehill does a heck of a job. As Rupp, get off to a pretty good start, but boy, did Rosehill make a great comeback at the end. You see that sweater come up over the head, and Rosehill, he knew. He knew. He understood exactly what he had done. He done a nice job.
That was his roll right off the draw. They jammed for it in front of Harding. It's still sitting there, but it was Brodziak who finally tipped it out of the slot area. Now Brodziak, Voracek come together. Voracek gets the puck. Played it across ice, but it's going to drift on out to the neutral zone. Flyers get it back, and Giroux will backhand deep into the Minnesota zone. Voracek after Brody. The sticks up a little. Giroux to the puck. So Giroux to Hartnell. Played it back down low. Voracek out on a long shift here, looking to center, but that one cut off by the Wild, and they will clear.
Boy, Jake Voracek really is fighting it. A couple of passes that were low percentage attempts, didn't make it. Nothing's gone his way the last few games.
9 straight now without a goal for Jake. Just 3 on the season. Puck bouncing to Rosehill. He's going to try to skate that up. He's caught from behind with a dive. He was able to get it out to center. Ballard will hoist it right back into the Philadelphia zone, though. Now it's Hall trying the other side of the ice. Rosehill and Rupp nearly come together again. Now Mazaros to Luke Schenn and ahead to Rosehill. And he'll spin that one right on into the Minnesota zone. Harding sets it up. Rosehill goes and almost stole it from him. Now Stoner check. Ronaldo steals. Got it to Couturier. Couturier trying to get it back out in front. Instead goes to the point. Timonen fires one wide on purpose, hoping for the carom. Ronaldo goes after it. Ronaldo has it. Zach Ronaldo's turned that one toward the net. Harding will just tuck it to the other side of the ice. Ballard up the wall, and that one does make it through center and down the ice. Not enough steam for icing. As Braden Coburn has it. Ticking down toward 5 minutes to play here in the second. Coburn ahead off a stick. Deep into the Minnesota zone. Downey off the bench. He's back with Reed and Couturier. And as the puck bounces free, Couturier stopped by Harding. Now in after this strike, he is able to keep it alive down low into the corner. Reed flying in after it. Couturier to the puck. Back out to Grossman. Almost lost it, then couldn't get it deep. And now the pass ahead for Niederreiter. Too far ahead of him. Goes in on Emery. He'll play it to Streit, who had it bounce off his skate. And Minnesota now has it. Heatley throwing it around behind the net. Niederreiter getting some help. Coyle twisting and turning. Grossman trying to stay with him. Coyle changing direction. Tried to slide that in front. He got caught up at the side of the cage, and Couturier comes away with it and then lobs it out through the neutral zone. Another very strong shift at both ends of the ice for Sean Couturier.
Not only positionally, but strong physically. I mean, he dug in there to lift sticks and to make sure he out-muscled people for the puck in front of Emery.
Now he knows he needs to get off the ice. Grossman sent that in. Looked like it was going to be icing, but they wave it off, and so the Flyers will get that change. There's Hartnell. And the setter, but it's taken away by Minnesota. Here's Pominville. Pominville moving up. Takes a look. Bounces one toward the net. It makes its way to Emery, and he will glove it and hang on. 3:43 remaining. Second period. Still waiting for the first goal in this one. GMC NHL update. This is John Albert scoring his first NHL goal. Winnipeg Jets. And the New York Rangers, Ryan Callahan, will come back and dig this one out of the blue paint. A couple tries later, get that one in. That tied the game at 2, but since then a Jets explosion. Olli Jokinen has scored twice, and the Jets lead the Rangers 5-2 at MSG in the third period. The Devils are trailing Montreal 2-1, so the Metropolitan Division, two teams directly ahead of the Flyers in the standings, both losing right now. Right here, no score, late second period. But the Flyers win, and they could find themselves in third place. You look at the standings tomorrow as things continue the way they're going. Couturier trying to get that one in the zone. It goes off the stick and into the crowd.
Well, don't forget, there's no better way to celebrate the holiday season than in a suite at a Flyers game. You can invite 12 to 80 guests and get an autographed Flyers puck for every darn one of them. December and January games still available. 215-389-9500 to book your premium holiday party.
We have just 3:28 remaining in this second period. A total of 22 shots on goal thus far. 14 for Minnesota, 8 for the Flyers. Not to say that's much of a surprise. As Doug Berube told us, did not expect there to be a lot of room for offensive hockey, and there has not been. Mitchell's shot, a stick save, Emery. Downey over after the puck. Moved it ahead to Couturier. Now Mazaros turning with it. Banked it to the Minnesota line. Taken back by Brodziak.
Now, you can't blame this defensive Minnesota team on Jacques Lemaire.
No, you
can't.
No, 10 years later, I think we can't blame him anymore. Emery will cover up with the puck right there. This is smothering hockey, and Mike Yeo does not sit back. He doesn't want his team to sit back, Bill. They send men in on the forecheck and try to bother you up there as well.
Yep, they do. He's done a really good job. They started 13-4-4. Now have won only 2 of their last 7 games. And Ryan Suter is a workhorse, and I mean horse.
Almost 2 minutes per game ahead of anybody else in the league.
They were talking about last night about what a great job he's done playing a half a game every night. He doesn't even look like he sweats.
Great to have stamina like that. He's at 17-17. So he's on pace for high 20s, pretty much where he would normally be. There's a turnaround shot by Parise that was blocked in the slot. Voracek able to backhand to the neutral zone. Hartnell after it. Scandella trying to impede his progress. Giroux tips it to Voracek for the shot, and it went wide. Great chance there for Jake, and he missed the target. That's the way things have been going for him lately. Parise dumps it in. Emery out to cut it off. And Grossman, who sent it in front of his own net. Giroux is there. And now Hartnell got that to center, and it's played back in offside by Minnesota.
Boy, everything was in place there for Jake. Left-handed shot, cutting into the middle, had the defenseman right in front of him for the screen, and he had that opening. You could see right over his shoulder that Harding wasn't ready. Now remember, he's a right-hand glove, Harding, so he's going to be able to get that glove up, but Jake just flat out missed the net.
Well, hindsight's 20/20, but for all of the Flyers guys that have shot wide or those that have decided to pass instead of taking the shot, if they'd known that they'd only have 8 shots with 2 minutes to go in the second period, they might have done it a little differently.
Raffle is able to dump that puck in. He got bumped into well after dumping that puck. No call made. Chance for an odd man rusher for Minnesota, but the Flyers break it up. Fine play made there defensively by Streit. And so the Wild have to go back to make that. That Streit or Shen who made that play? Streit. Yeah, they're about together right now. As defense pairs a little bit different. Here's Raffle getting it back out to Shen. He tips it back to Raffle. Now Braden Shen picks it up. Turnaround shot blocked. Bounces out to Streit for Shen. Oh, he hit Simmons right as he was being knocked down in front. Flyers fight to keep that puck in the zone. Raffle and Stoner behind the cage. Raffle with Stoner wrapping him up, and the pass goes back out, and Niederreiter has it. Numbers for the Wild if they want it. It's a 3-on-2 developing. There's Niederreiter with a pass. Turning with it is Heatley in front. Intercepted, and the Flyers able to maneuver up another. Good defensive play by Streit. 2 on that shift. Here's Downey moving in. Downey holds, and the wrist shot. Easy glove save for Harding.
Well, Wayne Simmons won't get credit for a blocked shot.
No.
But he sure got hit with one. Came back to the point.
Oh.
And those are the helpless feeling ones, because you're in midair, you've been knocked over, and you're falling, and you can't get out of the way.
Make matters worse, the shot was going well wide. Here's Mazzaro's flipping one. That one taken into the breadbasket by Harding, and no further play. Josh Harding has not been very busy. That shot, I believe, will be the 10th for the Flyers. They have 9 up on the board right now. Now it's 10. But what a story his. Multiple sclerosis. He does not like to talk much about it. It does affect him from time to time. Medication limits the effects of the disease at this point in his life, but he does have spasms from time to time that have taken him out of games or caused him to miss some games, but he plays through it. Masterton Trophy winner last year for very good reason. Couturier sent that one toward the net. Brodziak in front. It bounces off a stick, and now set ahead by Minnesota. Final 40 seconds of period number 2. Mazzaros out up the glass. That one bounces out toward the slot. Grossman got it ahead. Couturier tips to Downey. Downey to Couturier up the middle. Lost control. Now Couturier will go after it. Take it into the boards by Mitchell. But it is Couturier who wins the battle again. Hands off to Timonen, but his pass knocked down, and Brodziak will move it back the other way. Gets to the red line and sends it in. Emery will stop it and turn it over to Mitchell. Mitchell couldn't center. It rattles around, and now Mitchell has it again. Mitchell take it to the quarter boards. 5 seconds in the period. Flyers will again get away with a bit of an adventure for Ray Emery puck handling here tonight. And so this one remains scoreless. Emery has stopped the puck very well. 15 saves on 15 shots. Harding has made 10 saves at his end of the ice. No score through 40 minutes. Tonight's Flyers Wild second stanza was brought to you by Kia. To learn more, visit kia.com. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Tonight's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $81 million. So play today. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Players must be 18 years or older. More from John Boric and Al Morganti as they analyze action from Minnesota here tonight. Highlights and statistics. No score after 2. Tonight's third period on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you by Philadelphia's Super Network Buick GMC dealers. And by McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size iced coffee, or sweet tea is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Look at a statue of Herb Brooks, who was a legend here in Minnesota hockey before he became a legend in American hockey as author of The Miracle Isles. Get set for the start of the third period. No goal scoring statistics to tell you about through 2, but there are other numbers courtesy of Sugar House Casino.
Pretty small numbers in general. Scoring chances real hard to come by. Shots are at a premium. So this is, I don't know. Why do I see a shootout, a 0-0 shootout tonight?
It's certainly a possibility.
What, you got a crystal ball up there?
Well,
I don't much of one. Right. Thank you.
No,
your ice times, Ryan Suter, not surprisingly, well ahead of the field on this night. So check in on Twitter. The amateur fan wants the job being done by Emery. Nicky Sticks 27. Very important to note that Sean Couturier again has been very strong tonight. And yes, we talked about the Flyer goaltenders and their outstanding play. GMC Sports Update. Michael Ryder will tie this game, or the New Jersey Devils with a laser, beating Carey Price. But the Canadians come back and take a 3-2 lead late in the third period. Galchenyuk with the goal. And the Canadians lead that one late. The Rangers have already lost in regulation. There's 4 minutes left in that Devils game. So Claude Giroux and his Flyers could make up some ground and some of the teams immediately ahead of them in the standings if they can get the win here tonight.
well, you're going to see a little bit of different tempo here, I think. You're going to see you got an opportunity here, 20 minutes to win a hockey game. You know, Minnesota's going to come, and the Flyers need to reply here early in this third period, rather.
The Flyers win another draw, Coach. See, they have dominated the faceoff circle against a team that is very good on draws. And, you know, that's the first part about playing the possession game, right? Winning the faceoff. So that part of it, the Flyers have certainly executed tonight. Suter up the wall. Pominville will tip that one out to the neutral zone. Giroux is there, and he'll hammer it right back into the Minnesota zone. Harding will set it up for Suter. Suter poked that one almost between the legs of the goaltender, and no problem for the Wild. They move it up, and Pominville winds it into the Philadelphia zone. Lucy around behind off the stick of Grossman. Pominville there centered. Giroux able to break up that pass meant for Koivu. Hartnell to the puck for Philadelphia. Wrapped up by Koivu. Got his arm around him for a moment, but let go in time to not get the penalty call. Here's Coburn with some room. Braden Coburn in across the line. Waits and fires. Save Harding, and the rebound sitting right there for the Flyers. We're executing a line change. Nobody there to get to it. And Grossman will send it in. Flyers in the forecheck. Cause the turnover. Downey to Couturier. Backhands it around for Reed. Reed lets it go, and Downey didn't expect him to. And the Wild get to it. Brodziak moves to center. Pass off a stick. Straight. Tips it in the neutral zone. Downey pitches it forward, and Couturier whacks it into the Minnesota zone. Now set ahead. Downey breaks up another play. Couturier to the puck. Couturier hooked a bit, but all's well, they say, and they'll roll it around behind. Reed sidestepping the check of Scandella. Banks it back out. There's Mazzaros with a shot, and the save calmly made by Hardy. Saw it all the way. Simmons hesitated for a moment. Now he has to reach back for it. Sent it along the boards. Couturier with a pass to Reed. He's knocked down as he took the shot. It's kept in with a sweep by Mazzaros to Simmons. Simmons around behind for Reed, who's been out on the ice for quite a long time. Reed holding on, drops it off. Mazzaros will set it into Simmons as Reed goes to the bench. Simmons is checked, though, and Torrey Mitchell will play it ahead for Matt Cook. Cook checked at the line. Raffled to the puck, and he fanned on a pass ahead for Simmons. Second try just flings in, and Harding will glove that and play it ahead.
Tough break for Raffle because he had the counterattack going because the Norse. I knew I was going to say that.
You did.
Well, I got it out of the way. The Wild were doing a change, and it would have been a perfect opportunity with 4 men coming the other way with the Flyers.
It's the green, Coach. It's
That's
the green
what it is.
color that's
I
getting
couldn't do it. You just couldn't get away with it.
You know, in that last Flyers forecheck, it was some of the best sustained pressure that they had all game. They actually executed a 5-man change, one at a time, so that by the time the Wild got out of their zone, the Flyers had all fresh players out there.
Yeah, that was interesting how that was taking place. Not exactly how you do it by design in terms of changing on the fly, but you got to get it done any way you can. Here's Hall getting the puck into the Minnesota zone. He'll get to it, center off the side of the net.
Well, you know why you can do it is because the Wild collapsed 5 men down low. There's no long threat or deep threat outside the blue line looking to break away.
Stoner will clear the zone. Rosehill will send it right back in. Past the 3-minute mark of this third period. No score and just 27 total shots. Flyers steal here. But then Downey, I'm not sure what he was doing right there, whether it was a pass or a shot, but it went to the corner. He was, I think, afraid of the player in front of him as he was going down and tried to avoid him. And the Wild able to clear. Here's Coburn. Ahead off the stick of Couturier. Stays in play. Harding behind the net. He'll move it up the wall, and drifting back on this is Timonen. He's just off the bench. Picked up by Koivu. Right across the Philadelphia line. Mikko Koivu shifts behind and centers it in front. They score! Jason Pominville going upstairs to beat Emery. And the Wild take the 1-0 lead.
Well, we talk about chemistry in this game. I think this forward line has put this show up on stage before now. Watch this play. I know the puck kind of bounced off Ray Emery, but Koivu knew exactly where Pominville was going to be here.
Well, Koivu is going to make the spin around move that's going to fool everybody. Right here, he'll just look like he's going to come in the backhand, but he comes back on the forehand. Protects the puck from the defender, gets it right across. Pominville's just on the other side of the net with the wide open side.
You get that by Sean Couturier, you've done something pretty good.
Pominville now is 14 goals. And up at the top 5 of the NHL in goal scoring. What a setup by Koivu. So the first goal, it comes late in this hockey game. Third period, belongs to the Wild. Voracek trying to get it back. Centered that one. Giroux to the point. Grossman back it along. Voracek has it. Voracek muscling it in front, but then was checked, lost it, and the other way goes Torrey Mitchell. Mitchell to the Philadelphia zone with it. Grossman back, turns it over to Brodziak, but it's quickly chopped away from him. And the Wild have it. Scandella shot, save Emery. Brodziak trying to deflect that. Not sure if he got a piece of it or not. Stick pops free. The puck sent back deep into the Philadelphia zone. Scandella in after it. Wild changing here. Scandella gets the puck to Spurgeon for a shot. Save Emery, rebound, they score. Slam dunk in front for Charlie Coyle. And 2 quick ones have the Wild on top. 2-0.
Well, this is how you take advantage of momentum. And the Wild definitely grabbed some of that by scoring the first goal. Mark Streit was in a one-on-one situation in the corner.
Boy, that's an unbelievable rebound the way it came off. I mean, Emery's got to make the big save on the original shot, but look at that. I mean, that's hard to defend against when all of a sudden that puck goes straight left.
Yeah, with people hunting for the rebound. I guess in a perfect world, Ray Emery wanted that rebound to come right out in front of him, but it was not to be.
Well, Craig Berube's called timeout, and he's had a conversation here. Pretty sure he called the timeout because Emery's out, and he had a very brisk conversation with his team.
Well, the Wild with goals separated by just 57 seconds. Just like that, ahead 2-0. They had been down 2-0, as Bill had pointed out earlier in the game, in each of their last 4 games, and had given up the first goal in 7 straight. That all comes to an end here, and then once they have the lead, they're so tough. 11-1-2 this year when they score the first goal, and they've got the first 2 of this one. Here's Simmons moving up. Simmons one-hands it around to the other side. Gonzalez comes in, punts it in along, but that's taken back by Spurgeon, who got the primary assist on that Coyle goal. Luke Schenn takes it around, deep into his own zone, and then shovels it ahead. Raffle, nice pass. Braden Schenn will tip the puck in. He's cut off by Spurgeon, but Flyers are there. Good support Simmons, but his pass is off the mark. Either Reed or Coburn could get to that. And so now it's Braden Coburn ahead to Reed. The backhand deep into the Minnesota zone. Harding will play it ahead. It gets past Couturier. Now Koivu from the red line. It's a deep teaming in there. There's the other side of the ice. There's Koivu again. It's tipped away from him and then batted out to center ice by Reed. Suter will play it right back into the Philadelphia zone, and Emery will steer to Braden Coburn. 6 minutes into this third period. Downey. Pass that's tipped. Couturier has it. Couturier fighting off a check. Left it for Downey. Downey jams it back into traffic at the corner. Couturier will navigate through that. Backhands it off the stick of Downey to the other side of the ice. And then is Brodin playing it ahead. He's got Koivu. Koivu is getting wide to the left wing and then winding it in as the Wild will go for a change. Nick Grossman starts back for Philadelphia. The right wing pass. Streit hustles it up and across the line. Shuttles it deep. Spurgeon, Hartnell come together. Spurgeon got the puck ahead. Now it bounces back to Brodziak. And the former Edmonton Oiler will pump it in to the Philadelphia zone. He'll chase with Grossman. Flyers are back. Good support there from Giroux. Moves it to Streit. Streit the left wing feed. Hartnell has it. Quick shot. Shot by Harding at the side of the cage. Squirts all the way back out to Streit. His pass is for Voracek behind the net. He's upended. Hartnell giving him some help. Now Voracek, wraparound try, save Harding, and he covers. Josh Harding able to clamp down on that bid by Voracek at the other end of the ice. Pominville and then Coyle on the board. And the Wild lead by 2.
Flyers are swimming upstream here against the Minnesota Wild, trailing 2-0 in the third. And a reminder to shop FanZone at Wells Fargo Center for all your Flyers holiday needs. FanZone's now open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's located on the 11th Street side of the Wells Fargo Center.
The Flyers return to home ice at the end of this long road trip on Thursday, December the 12th. They'll take on the Montreal Canadiens. Danny Briere will be back in town. Get a ticket plus food and drinks in the Lexus Club starting at just $85. Call 215-218-PUCK or visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com. There's a shot from the point by Luke Schenn that's blocked. Now they'll move it ahead. And then Konopka chopped down by Simmons and no call. They are letting him play tonight, coaching.
Yeah, I was. You just were looking around, weren't you, to see if that arm was going up?
Thought it would. Simmons gets away with one there. Here is Raffle skating the puck in around 1, getting toward the slot, but just too many green jerseys. Coyle moves the other way. Raffle picks his pocket from behind, and he got hooked. That's a penalty. And so for the first time in 2 games, the Minnesota Wild have committed a penalty. And now Luke Schenn begins to push and shove. As he goes nose to nose with Nino Niederreiter.
Well, you got to calm down.
Alliteration there for you.
Yeah, you got to really calm down here at this point because you don't want to be able to take a penalty when they've already got one. Okay, Coyle's going in. You're down 2-0. You got an opportunity here on the power play with a half a period to go.
Minnesota number 3, minor penalty slashing.
No doubt. Discipline has to be in the forefront of all the decisions that the Flyers make now. That's a heck of a hit on Niederreiter. El Nino down.
So the Wild, I'm not sure they remember how to kill a penalty because they haven't had to do so since 2 games ago. But here it is. The first power play for the Flyers. As Coach said, big chance here to get right back within 1. Teaming into Giroux. Giroux down low. Simmons to Voracek. Diving play. And it was stopped by either Harding or Koivu. Either way, spectacular defensive effort. And it keeps the Flyers off the board. Here's Timonen. The pass to Giroux, who misfired on that attempt for Voracek. Voracek has to go back and get it. And Timonen will send it in. 9 straight games without a goal for Jake. If ever he was going to score, you thought it might be right there. He set up perfectly. Denied in close. He's got the puck again. Timonen touch past Giroux. Giroux, the shot off the post. He's hit another post. Claude Giroux has hit at least 7 or 8 posts this year. And plank of the iron right there again. Gets the puck in. Mitchell. There, Giroux. Had to get to him, but Mitchell very fast, and he's able to clear the zone. 53 seconds remain on the power play. Flyers power play. 0 for 7 in its last 2 games after scoring a goal in 8 consecutive games. And the Wild will clear again. Here's Koivu. Sends it all the way down. Is there anything Koivu doesn't do? I mean, anything in the game that he doesn't excel at? Wins faceoffs. He does assist man.
I don't think he shoots enough.
Not a great finisher, yeah. But, boy, he does so many great things.
Oh, yeah,
for
he does.
I think he's one of the unheralded great players in this game. You don't hear a lot about him. But the Wild obviously respect him. They gave him a lot of money. A long contract. Here's Reed. Cross ice. Couturier with room. Winds and fires. Save Harding. And the rebound covered before Downey could get his stick on it.
Pass by Matt Reed. Cross ice to Sean Couturier. And then a good decision by Couturier to get a shot on goal. Earlier on this power play, Koivu got a little piece of that, but Harding got most of it with his blocker.
Wow, that's an unbelievable save. And you talk about Koivu taking a look at that and just getting a piece when he jumps in front. Now watch, this is a shot through a crowd. You got Simmons jumping up in the air so Harding doesn't see it. It gets through everything, but it's blocked by the post.
As a player, you hope that they start going in. Maybe the second half of the year, Claude's going to get 2 or 3 lucky bounce goals or something because he has hit a ton of posts this year. Had 1 in each game of the road trip already. Here's Voracek. Voracek centering to Giroux's shot, and this time he's stopped by the goaltender as he fired that one into the midsection of Harding. Power play over, still 2-0.
Gentlemen, thanks very much, and we just had an unbelievable save here by Josh Harding, and that's going to be our Hyundai save of the game. Watch him leap. Now, the puck on the power play. Drew gets it over, and here comes Jake Voracek with the opportunity. Gets a little bit of Koivu's stick, but it's Harding that comes over and gets a piece with the blocker, diving across the crease.
Yeah, the call, I said it was either Koivu or Harding. It was both getting a piece of that, but you said Harding had to get there even after Koivu got a piece of it because it would have gone in.
Harding did such a good job of getting over there. I'm not sure he needed Koivu.
Here's Timonen moving up from the red line. Sends it in. Still 9:18 to play. Plenty of time for the Flyers, but they have to generate some offense. They have had a couple chances, not being the best of them. We just saw since the Wild took the lead. Here's Giroux, another shot, but couldn't get much on that, and it's handled by Harding. He's going to the net, Claude. He's trying to create offense.
Yeah, going about it the right way as well. And as long as his wingers, Scott Hartnell, Jake Voracek, Steve Downey's been out there a couple of times with him. As long as they get pucks to the net. Look, when you've got nothing clean, you have to get whatever shot through you can. And you have to have somebody arriving there for what you hope is going to be a rebound.
Luke Schenn fires one that hit a body in front, bounces to the corner. Simmons recoil, the puck behind the net, Flyers hunting it down. But Scandella able to maneuver away from the traffic and clear the zone. And now Heatley jams it into Philadelphia ice. Right back out it goes. Cross ice pass to Braden Schenn. Lines up at the stick of Luke Schenn for a shot that's blocked. Scandella will move it ahead to Niederreiter. Peter Ryder all the way across. One-time shot. Heatley rejected by Emery. And Heatley can fire it with the best of them even at this stage. His numbers have been dropping the last several years, but he's been pretty hot lately. And he leaned into that one.
That was like on a tee. That's the wrong guy to have a one-timer top of the circle, but Emery was certainly equal.
Wild get the puck again. Brodziak a shot. Emery equal again as he knocks that one down and covers. And then Mitchell and Couturier and others push and shove in front. Mitchell got his glove up in Couturier's face. Downey comes from behind and gets right in Mitchell's face. Steve Downey does not like to see a teammate take any kind of mistreatment, shall we say.
No. And it doesn't take him long to start pleading his case to the refs either when he's in there. There's that shot the coach was talking about by Danny Heatley. That's all of it from the dead slot at full stride.
See the torque in the stick. And once again, Ray Emery, here's a nice little save from inside, and he holds on, okay? That's so important. You got two Minnesota Wild players right there looking for the rebound, and he just let that puck hit him softly, very comfortably, and then held on.
And avoid his first loss in regulation to the Wild. Flyers are going to have to come from behind in order for that to be the case for Ray to avoid that. There's Hall. For Reed. Reed moving up. Hall knocks the puck down. Pushed it back ahead. The Wild able to corral that. Here's Ballard. 3 years in Vancouver where he really struggled. Became a healthy scratch. And was the compliance buyout of the Canucks was Keith Ballard. Signed as a free agent by the Wild. Downey ahead. Off the stick of Couturier deep into the Minnesota zone. Clayton Stoner will go back and get this. Let's settle things down. Up the boards and out through center and down the ice it goes. Coburn will win the race to the puck. Pominville's able to get right to him. Coburn trying to hold him off. And he does. He'll chip it to the other side of the ice. Downey is there. And he'll flip one up through center to Hartnell. Hartnell ahead for Couturier. Couturier gets some room. The wrist shot gloved by Harding. And he'll squeeze it. And then Couturier finished by Suter. Boy, Sean Couturier is taking some punishment in this game. It gets around quickly, doesn't it? It also means he's getting to those greasy areas, which Craig Berube so often talks about.
Looks like he doesn't want to take this one lying down either.
Well, Harding has been perfect so far here tonight. 17 saves. And the numbers with him are very impressive overall this year. I mean, for any human being, those are impressive numbers. When you factor in the fact that he has MS, those numbers are off the charts good. And here at XL Energy Center, he just flat out doesn't lose. He's 10-1 this year. And here was his reaction to his diagnosis. Scary for sure. Didn't know about his hockey career, but he said he'd do whatever it takes to come out on top of this, and so far so good. And he does, that last line there, doesn't want it to define him. He doesn't like to talk about it at all during the hockey season. People magazine just did a story on him. He sort of reluctantly agreed to do this story. It's a great story, by the way. You should check it out. But he doesn't really like to talk about it.
He's a very quiet guy to begin with.
Penalty coming up here. Wild take down the Flyer in front. And that was Hartnell. And so the Flyers get a power play here. 6:52 remaining and a chance again to get within one.
It's going to be Koivu that's going to pick up the penalty. So the Flyers once again with an opportunity. There's 6:52 remaining here in the third period. A couple of good opportunities in the last power play. Let's see if Scotty gets the stick right into the legs of Scott Hartnell. Koivu didn't like that penalty. I don't know what he didn't like about it, but you see him in the box, and still lots of time here for good things to happen.
Look, you put your stick between a guy's legs in front of the net, there's a good chance he's going to do something that leads to you getting a penalty. It took a Harding unbelievable save last power play to keep the Flyers from getting on the board here. They got to generate that kind of attack. They're just running out of time.
There's your McDonald's power play payoff contestant, David Mellor. For Darby. The Flyers move up. Left wing feed for Hartnell. He's trying to catch up to that puck. He jabs it deeper. Now the Flyers try to outnumber the Wild and go for that puck. And they don't come away with it. You got to do that. That's step one on a power play. The Wild send it all the way down. Human nature tells you sometimes you have more guys out there than the other team, you're going to get that puck, but you have to work extra hard sometimes to get it, and then things usually fall for you. Here's Voracek on the other side of the ice. Timonen got it to Simmons, and he was playing it to Hartnell, and that was a missed connection there. And a diving play made by Giroux to break up potential rush by the Wild. Coyle. Now look at the work by Coyle here. 3 Flyers, and it took him about 7 seconds to get the puck away from him.
Flyers going with 4 forwards, 1 defenseman. Timonen the only defenseman, as Craig Berube looking to be able to juice this power play up a little more.
Reed winds it in now. They're in the middle of changing the personnel. And it bounces out and is cleared all the way down by Suter. Nothing doing so far on this man advantage for Philadelphia. Cook forces Streit to play that puck quickly. Reed right back to Streit. Half-minute remaining on the man advantage as they start up. The left wing feed, Couturier. They'll spin it around and hope for Downey. Took a chop at it, could not clear. Streit has it. He'll wind fake the shot and give to Downey. Downey all the way across. Reed, pass back for Streit, broken up. Bronziaki goes the other way with it. Power play will come to an end before the Flyers get back to the Minnesota zone.
Never a bad idea to just throw it to the front of the net, especially when you've got a screen there.
So back to 5-on-5 hockey. Here's Braden Shen with a pass that could not be handled by Hall. Shen surges after it behind the net. He's spilled. And the puck up the wall. Coburn digs it off the wall, plays it down low, and Harding had to tip that one away as Shen and Hall both had their sticks in there. Braden Shen, a pass knocked away by Koivu, and with his glove he got it ahead in the zone, so it's a legal play. And now Pominville moves it to Parisi. He'll just push it deeper into the Philadelphia zone. 4:18 left on the third period clock. Flyers need 2 to equalize. Grossman. The pass tipped into the Minnesota zone. Flyers will complete a change. Giroux goes in the forecheck. But Stoner will move it out to center ice off the stick of Niederreiter. And Mazzaros. Dvorak full board across the line. He'll wind and fire. Save. Harding rebound sitting there. Let the Wild clear it out of harm's way. Now Luke Schenn tried to get it on that. It's knocked down. And Coyle will backhand. It's stolen. Voracek to Giroux, and he missed the target with that one. Didn't get all of it. Now Mazzaros tried to get it around behind the net, but it winds up in the safety netting. Play stopped. 3:37 to play. Today's Flyers Wild game was brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Wells Fargo. If you're considering buying your first home, Wells Fargo is with you. Wells Fargo, together we go far. It's cold enough up here for some outside skating. Snow falling today, more expected tomorrow. Flyers on their way to Detroit right after the game. They still have 3:37 remaining in this one to try to tie it up, force some extra hockey or better. As the Wild win the draw, and Suter will go across ice with it. Takes the turn feed, and the son of Bob Suter, who was a member of the Miracle on Ice team, sent it down the ice, icing the call here. Also had an uncle who had a distinguished career, Gary Suter, in the NHL, so the bloodlines are there.
I don't know what his dad Bob wore in 1980 when he played on the Miracle team, what number he wore, but I certainly know that his uncle Gary wore number 20. And I believe he wears number 20 in honor of his NHL uncle.
Flyers going to pull the goaltender here with 3:22 remaining. So Craig Berube says, let's go for it. We've got an offensive zone draw. Let's see what we can do with this.
I like it.
Right off the draw, Giroux tried a shot. It's blocked. Brodin will send it along the board. Knocked down. Timonen behind the net. Voracek. Voracek in front, but got so much on the pass that Simmons couldn't get his stick down, and it goes all the way down the ice.
You got to make sure that you're constantly outnumbering the Minnesota Wild in their own zone. You've got the extra attacker. Do not catch yourself even or down a man. We want to be able to have possession.
Right with the pass, and it's sent deeper by Hartnell. Around to the other side, Voracek gets some help from Simmons. Simmons back behind the net. There's Giroux. In front, that goes all the way back to Streit for a shot that flutters wide. Now Hartnell will try to ram it in, and Harding had to put his glove and stick down to cover on that. Hartnell gets some rough treatment, but nothing too serious, and the faceoff will stay in the Minnesota zone.
Well, let's take a look at our Toyota turning point. Now, not a lot of scoring going on, obviously, but then 2 goals, 57 seconds apart. Watch this play by Koivu to get it over to Pominville to give the Wild a 1-0 lead, and then they come right back. Or watch this rebound come right onto the stick of Coyle. Emery makes a great save, but the rebound just perfectly onto the stick, and that is our Toyota turning point in the hockey game.
Goaltender pulled now for the Flyers. Extra attacker out, but the Wild able to win the draw and clear. Zaros goes back to get it. 2:35 on the third period clock. Coburn ahead off the stick of Couturier deep into the Minnesota zone. Scandella is there. Spurgeon looking for it. Reed will turn it up the wall to Meszaros. Meszaros right back along for Downey, and now Reed. Spurgeon gets to him quickly, flips it up in the air, and out to center as Meszaros could not keep it in. So now he and Coburn drift back with it. Quickly ahead again. Downey did not get much on that, and Spurgeon knocks it back out to center. Now here is Schenn. Had to wait for a Flyer to get onside. Jams it into the corner. Couturier barrels in after it. Downey in there as well. The Flyers do as Coatsy talked about, outnumber the opposition, but then the pass from Braden Schenn gets passed right all the way down.
That's the third time the puck has cleared Minnesota's zone from a Flyers stick.
With Parisi stealing the puck with that empty net now. Strike will play it back behind for Giroux. 1:40 remaining. Giroux the pass to Voracek. Kicks it out of his skates. Into the corner, goes after it. Suter checking him. And the Flyers a good job to outnumber and win the puck battle. It's Meszaros to strike to Meszaros center point. Giroux back to Meszaros. He'll blast. Deflected and went wide. Voracek holding off the check and then getting the puck to Hartnell to Giroux, who mishandled it off the wall and dives. Meszaros did keep that in. A couple of dives. A third dive kept it in again. They play it to the corner boards. Now it's Simmons. Back to strike. Across it goes. Meszaros to Giroux. Back to Meszaros. Winds and fires. Save Harding. Rebound. Simmons poking for it. He's got it now. Around behind the net. Simmons looking. The pass to Giroux. Into the final minute now. Giroux holds. Fires. And that one's blocked. Hits the referee. Simmons pivoting in the corner, but nearly losing his balance. Then he's wrapped up. Helmet pops up. Here's Giroux back to Meszaros for the shot. Save made, or it was blocked in front actually. It was Simmons trying to find the rebound. It wasn't there. Down to the final 32 now. Here is Hartnell. Tried to go across. He drilled that one right into Brodziak. And now it's played ahead by Koivu to Brodziak. Tried to fire into the empty net. It was knocked down by the Flyers.
Brodziak didn't even look. He just got to the red line and figured, okay, I'm going to be able to get that open net. But it actually drilled Braden Schenn.
Well, the Flyers trying to move the puck in. Downey to Braden Schenn. Braden Schenn's pass to the slot broken up. Cleared to the line and out. Back in offside by Coburn with 5 seconds remaining. Empty net hockey for over 3 minutes and not a goal either way.
A lot of pressure by the Flyers as we take a look at our Mazda top shelf performers. Ray Emery stopped 19 pucks tonight. Nick Grossman leading the way in ice time. And 4 shots for Meszaros, 4 shots for Voracek. But Josh Harding has been the answer for the Minnesota Wild. Flyers haven't been able to get anything by him yet. Pominville and Coyle with the tallies for the Wild.
Off the draw, the Wild control. Scandella brings it back, and that will do it. The Flyers fail to climb above 500 again. As they run into a stingy group of Minnesota Wild players. Coyle with one of their goals. Josh Harding, the job in net. He stops 21 Philadelphia shots and shuts them out. Flyers shut out for the 3rd time this season.